Why does the entire music industry bow to 7 artists from South Korea? When the biggest Western icons step into the studio, which specific BTS member truly commands their respect? Forget the charts and the fandom. Let's look at the raw data and peer recognition. Who is the absolute best? Number 7, the vocal prodigy chosen by global hitmakers, Jung Kook. When American multi-platinum singer and producer Charlie Puth sat down to analyze his collaborative track, Left and Right, he openly declared that Jung Kook's pitch-perfect delivery and natural ability to lock onto complex harmonies required absolute minimal vocal correction, describing his performance as incredibly perfect, precise, and deeply moving. This unfiltered professional assessment from an artist renowned for his absolute pitch directly aligns with the empirical reality of Jung Kook's studio mastery. This exact sentiment was echoed fiercely on the global stage when Grammy-winning electronic music titan Diplo openly stated to mainstream media outlets during studio sessions that Jung Kook possesses a flawless voice that completely bypasses the need for electronic pitch correction, calling him a perfect singer who relies entirely on raw talent. Beyond contemporary hitmakers, the weight of this artistic recognition spans decades of musical history, cementing his status as a rare cross-generational bridge. Legendary R&B and pop icon Diana Ross explicitly named Jung Kook's solo masterpiece, Standing Next to You, as one of her favorite contemporary tracks, publicly praising his performance by stating that the spirit of Michael Jackson is vividly coming through all of his complex choreography and vocal movements. This immense endorsement from the literal mentor of the King of Pop shifts the narrative entirely away from typical commercial fandom into the territory of genuine artistic lineage. This massive praise is further reinforced by the technical data compiled by global music authorities. Rolling Stone officially ranked Jung Kook on their definitive list of the 200 greatest singers of all time, highlighting his extraordinarily soulful tenor range, his effortless capacity to harmonize under extreme physical conditions, and his brilliant execution of unexpected vocal ad-libs. Mainstream pop figures like AJ McLean of the Backstreet Boys and alternative artists like Tyrese Gibson have openly declared their admiration for his total versatility, noting that his distinct vocal texture carries the exact sonic blueprint needed for modern global pop dominance. In the live arena, music critics consistently note that while average pop vocalists suffer a severe drop in pitch stability during intense, high-energy choreography, Jung Kook maintains a flawless, unwavering intonation that mimics a studio recording. His natural, fluid approach to complex pop and R&B melodies acts as a massive magnet for Western producers who are notoriously accustomed to heavily auto-tuned vocal tracks. Every single collaboration, from the acoustic precision of Charlie Puth to the high-tempo production of major global DJs, proves that his voice isn't just a product of meticulous engineering, but a powerful, highly disciplined instrument capable of commanding the absolute peak of the international music industry. It is a level of unyielding vocal mastery that forces the absolute best in the Western Hemisphere to watch in complete awe, knowing very well that this is just the beginning of a massive shift in who truly dominates the global charts, leaving the entire world wondering which master of the craft will step forward next to claim their spot. Number 6, the master of precision and street dance heritage, J-Hope. When American pop star and actress Becky G teamed up with J-Hope for the massive cultural crossover single Chicken Noodle Soup, she spent extensive time in the studio and on set witnessing his legendary work ethic firsthand, later stating to international press that his level of artistic discipline, extreme precision in choreographic execution, and undeniable natural leadership on the dance floor completely redefine what it means to be a global performance artist. This deep professional respect reached a historical peak when J-Hope became the first South Korean artist to headline a major United States music festival at Lollapalooza, a groundbreaking performance where Becky G joined him live on stage and publicly declared to an audience of over 100,000 screaming fans that she was deeply honored and proud to share the space with an artist of his massive caliber, emphasizing that his absolute command over the stage is a rare phenomenon in the modern music landscape. This public recognition from top-tier Western dancers and music producers is rooted firmly in verifiable facts. J-Hope has been consistently highlighted by industry pioneers like legendary American hip-hop producer and fashion icon Pharrell Williams, who actively sought him out for creative discussions and praised his unique artistic energy and sharp musical instincts during high-profile fashion and music events in Paris and Seoul. The technical depth of his talent is continuously validated by veteran street dancers across the United States who analyze his freestyle work, noting that J-Hope does not simply memorize highly complex choreographic routines, but possesses an elite, foundational understanding of popping, locking, and traditional street dance subcultures that allows him to execute sharp movements with flawless physical rhythm and timing that most pop stars cannot replicate. This extraordinary capability was vividly put on display throughout his documentary series, Hope on the Street, where he traveled back to the roots of hip-hop and street dance, earning the absolute respect of underground American dance pioneers who formally recognized his legitimate skills, proving that his artistry goes far beyond highly commercialized pop packaging. Furthermore, American alternative pop icon Halsey, who has maintained a long-standing creative partnership and close personal friendship with the group, has repeatedly singled out J-Hope's explosive stage presence, noting in behind-the-scenes tour footage and media interviews that his infectious energy, seamless flow transitions, and absolute performance perfection serve as the literal backbone of their live stadium productions. Major Western media outlets and music critics from Rolling Stone and Billboard have systematically analyzed his solo discography, including his critically acclaimed album Jack in the Box, specifically pointing out that his complex rhythmic delivery, dark conceptual lyricism, and meticulous control over audio production elements show an artist operating at the absolute peak of his creative power. Every single live showcase, from his historical festival sets to intimate studio recordings, underscores the undeniable reality that his distinct blend of flawless technical execution and raw street dance heritage is exactly what sets him apart in an industry oversaturated with heavily synthesized acts, demonstrating with absolute clarity that his position as a global performance vanguard is fully backed by the undisputed masters of the craft, forcing the entire industry to watch closely as the spotlight shifts to the next heavy-hitting pioneer ready to command the global stage. Number 5. The ethereal vocalist and contemporary dance pioneer, Jimin. When American singer-songwriter Alec Benjamin sat down for media interviews following his live concert in Seoul, he openly expressed deep fascination with Jimin's highly distinct artistic identity, publicly declaring that Jimin possesses a genuinely heavenly, unparalleled vocal tone that sounds like angels singing, and immediately initiated conceptual discussions for a professional musical collaboration. This exact sentiment regarding his striking, hypnotic artistry is shared by Grammy-winning American artist Lizzo, who explicitly singled out Jimin during her global live broadcasts by calling him absolutely fierce, beautiful, and possessing a mind-blowing level of talent that completely commands attention both on and off the stage. This wave of professional validation from the core of the United States music industry is firmly anchored in documented, verifiable facts regarding Jimin's rare background. As an elite graduate who entered the Busan High School of Arts as the top student across the entire modern and contemporary dance department, Jimin brings a technical foundation that standard pop vocalists simply do not possess. This unique, boundary-pushing artistic fusion is why American music critics and industry veterans systematically highlight his solo work, including his historical milestone with Like Crazy, which made him the first South Korean solo artist to top the definitive Billboard Hot 100 chart, as a massive masterclass in utilizing a unique countertenor voice paired with fluid, highly expressive body movements that blend classical contemporary discipline with modern commercial pop. Western vocal coaches and elite choreographers have repeatedly analyzed his iconic solo stages, noting that his rare ability to effortlessly hit piercing falsettos and delicate vocal ad-libs, while maintaining complete control over intricate, gravity-defying physical lines is a technical feat that requires decades of rigorous physical conditioning and innate rhythmic instinct. Furthermore, major music publication Rolling Stone explicitly detailed his artistic impact, recognizing his highly emotive vocal delivery and defining him as an iconic performer whose solo discography, spanning from Lie and Serendipity to his highly successful albums Face and Muse, completely elevates the performance standards of the global music industry. Every single live arena showcase, from high-profile international award ceremonies to intimate studio tracking sessions, completely reinforces the reality that his singular blend of modern dance mastery and highly distinct, ethereal vocal timbre is exactly what draws the absolute highest tier of Western hitmakers to study his craft, making it undeniable that his status as an industry trendsetter is fully solidified, leaving global audiences waiting in intense anticipation as the countdown moves. directly toward the next master of creative expression. Number 4. The philosophical architect of modern lyricism, RM. When 13-time Grammy-winning producer and cultural icon Pharrell Williams sat down with RM for an exclusive, highly publicized creative summit hosted by Rolling Stone, Pharrell openly expressed deep admiration for RM's complex, structural approach to songwriting and his profound ability to manage the immense psychological weight of global stardom, stating directly that his unique artistic perspective and sharp executive instincts make him a truly rare and formidable force within the international music industry. This massive praise from one of the most selective minds in Western pop music is deeply rooted in verified facts regarding RM's unparalleled creative output. As the foundational leader of the group, RM is a fully credited producer and lyricist with over 200 songs registered under his name, making him one of the most prolific young writers in modern music history. This exact level of profound intellectual depth is what drew the legendary queen of neo-soul Erykah Badu out of her notoriously selective stance on modern mainstream features to collaborate on the opening track of his critically acclaimed studio album Indigo. With Badu publicly praising his deep artistic vision, his respect for musical heritage, and the absolute emotional maturity found within his songwriting process. Western music critics and global publications like Pitchfork and NME have systematically analyzed his solo discography, particularly his highly experimental second album Right Place, Wrong Person, explicitly pointing out that RM completely rejects standard commercial pop formulas in favor of complex alternative hip-hop beats, intricate internal rhyme schemes, and deeply introspective commentary on human identity that most mainstream artists avoid. This technical brilliance is continuously highlighted by legendary alternative hip-hop pioneers like Tableau of Epic High, who recently detailed their extensive studio tracking history together by declaring RM a phenomenal, deeply inspiring collaborator who completely puts his entire soul into his art, pushing everyone around him to elevate their own creative standards. Furthermore, multi-genre American artist Anderson .Paak has publicly celebrated RM's sharp rhythmic delivery and immaculate timing, noting that his natural ability to float effortlessly over complex funk, jazz, and boom-bap textures shows an incredibly disciplined musician who possesses an authentic, encyclopedic understanding of global hip-hop culture. Every single studio project and international creative alliance proves beyond any doubt that his artistry isn't just about constructing massive global hooks, but about driving a complex, deeply intellectual narrative that forces the absolute highest tier of the Western avant-garde to view him as a true peer and philosophical leader, leaving the entire global industry waiting in absolute silence as the spotlight turns toward the next heavy-hitting mastermind of the group. Number 3. The cinematic baritone and neo-soul trailblazer, V. When American chart-topping singer-songwriter Lauv collaborated with the group on the emotional track, Who, he specifically detailed his immense fascination with V's deeply resonant vocal texture, openly stating across global music platforms that V possesses a beautifully distinct, rich tone that adds an entirely new dimension of haunting melancholy to a track, making the tracking process an incredibly organic artistic revelation. This exact sentiment regarding his uniquely striking sonic identity is fiercely echoed by multi-platinum American pop star and longtime creative collaborator Halsey, who has consistently highlighted V's profound performance art, describing his expressive facial control, deep vocal presence, and commanding stage performance as an absolute visual and auditory masterclass that grounds their stadium-level productions. This wave of professional validation from top-tier Western hitmakers is anchored heavily in verifiable musical facts. V's solo masterpiece Singularity was universally lauded by elite music critics from the New York Times and the Los Angeles Times, who formally recognized it as a definitive high watermark for modern R&B, specifically praising his smooth, jazz-infused baritone delivery and his meticulous physical execution during complex, theater-grade choreography. Western vocal coaches and classical music experts systematically point out that while the modern pop landscape is overwhelmingly dominated by high tenors, V stands out as a rare, highly disciplined baritone who effortlessly controls a wide vocal range, utilizing rich low notes and a sultry, velvety falsetto that creates a profound, cinematic atmosphere. This technical brilliance is exactly why legendary American jazz icons and global music producers have publicly praised his solo debut album Layover, noting that his decision to merge classic jazz, soul, and lo-fi rhythm and blues completely showcases an artist who prioritizes raw, timeless musicality over fast-paced commercial trends. Furthermore, major international music publications like Rolling Stone have thoroughly analyzed his solo discography, spanning from the acoustic depth of Sweet Night and Christmas Tree to the soulful execution of Friday and S, highlighting his exceptional ability to convey dense emotional weight entirely through subtle vocal phrasing and unmatched physical acting. Every single high-profile international showcase and intimate studio recording completely underscores the reality that his singular, deep baritone timbre paired with a highly sophisticated understanding of visual performance is precisely what compels elite Western creators to analyze his artistry as a true cinematic force, proving beyond all doubt that his position as a pioneer of soulful expression is fully locked in, keeping the entire industry in absolute suspense as the narrative moves forward directly to the next iconic master of the craft. Number 2, the sonic architect and visionary sound engineer, SUGA. When multi-platinum American pop singer-songwriter Halsey sat down with Beats Radio 1 to discuss the architectural curation of her highly successful studio album Manic, she explicitly detailed her decision to recruit SUGA for SUGA's interlude, publicly stating that she was completely mesmerized by his brilliant, introspective lyrical outlook and his unique ability to convey profound human emotion without relying on standard commercial pop formulas. This creative synergy reached another historical peak when Halsey collaborated with him once again for the dark, industrial anthem Lilith for Diablo 4. Later joining SUGA live on stage at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles during his groundbreaking D-Day World Tour, where she openly shared with millions of fans on global media platforms that sharing a stage with an artist of his massive caliber left her in absolute awe, describing the experience as an intense, unforgettable artistic revelation. This unwavering respect from elite Western chart toppers is backed firmly by a massive catalog of empirical, verifiable data. Operating under his dual identities as SUGA of BTS and the raw underground persona August D, he has built a legendary reputation as a powerhouse producer-director, formerly known in the industry as Min PD, with over 160 songs fully registered under his name. This high level of technical mastery is exactly why American pop artist Max actively sought him out for the chart-topping hit Blueberry Eyes and their explosive collaboration Burn It, repeatedly praising SUGA's absolute precision in the studio, his meticulous control over sonic engineering, and his flawless capacity to seamlessly weave intricate, rapid-fire rap flows with deep, cinematic production values. The technical depth of his artistry was further validated on a monumental global scale when the late Japanese music icon and legendary composer Ryuichi Sakamoto formally collaborated with him on the masterpiece track Snooze, with Sakamoto publicly praising the young musician by stating that SUGA is a completely one-of-a-kind, top-notch artist who takes music with absolute, uncompromising seriousness, focusing his entire mind and soul on the craft. Western music critics and global publications like Rolling Stone and NME have systematically analyzed his solo trilogy, comprising August D, D2, and his definitive studio album D-Day, highlighting his elite capability to masterfully fuse traditional Korean string instruments like the heegeum and gaegeum with aggressive, heavy-hitting modern hip-hop beats and raw, deeply personal commentary on mental health and societal pressures. Every single milestone, from making history as the first South Korean soloist to gross over $50 million on a single United States arena tour to his highly sought-after production work for global icons, proves with absolute clarity that his artistry goes far beyond standard idol packaging, establishing him as a deeply respected sonic mastermind whose work forces the absolute peak of the Western music industry to study his blueprint, keeping the entire global audience in complete suspense as the final countdown leads directly to the ultimate number 1 master of the craft. Number 1, the silver voice of absolute resonance and arena-grade rock heritage, Jimin. When Chris Martin, the legendary frontman of 7-time Grammy-winning British rock titan Coldplay, first listened to the raw vocal track provided by Jimin, he was completely stunned by the massive emotional gravity and absolute structural purity of his voice, which immediately prompted Martin to personally fly across the globe to hand-deliver his own prized guitar and co-write the monumental solo single, The Astronaut. This intense level of peer validation from one of the most selective rock frontmen in modern history is backed entirely by documented verifiable facts. Chris Martin has publicly declared to international music outlets that Jin possesses a highly distinct, incredibly beautiful, and pure tenor voice that naturally carries a rare epic quality perfectly suited for massive, sold-out stadium rock anthems. This monumental creative alliance reached a historical peak when Coldplay invited Jin to perform live as a special guest during their massive world tour stadium broadcast in Buenos Aires, Argentina, where Martin stood before an audience of over 70,000 fans and openly declared that Jin's flawless live execution, exceptional pitch control under pressure, and profound capacity to connect deeply with an audience completely proved his position as a world-class vocalist. This critical recognition from the absolute peak of the Western rock landscape is rooted deeply in Jin's precise technical discipline. Elite international music publications like Rolling Stone have systematically analyzed his unique vocal growth, highlighting his rich, crystalline belting technique, his incredible breath control, and his masterful command over the challenging pop rock genre, as showcased across his highly acclaimed solo works like Epiphany, Moon, and his highly successful debut solo album Happy. Furthermore, global music producers and vocal coaches frequently point out that while standard pop vocals heavily rely on digital layering to survive in massive arenas, Jin's voice is structurally built on a classical foundation that allows him to transition seamlessly from a powerful chest voice to a piercing, emotionally resonant falsetto with absolute stability. This technical brilliance is exactly what drew massive praise from American record producer Benny Blanco and hip-hop pioneer Snoop Dogg during the production of their chart-topping collaborative single Bad Decisions, where industry insiders explicitly noted that Jin's crisp, pitch-perfect delivery served as the definitive anchor for the song's vocal arrangement. Every single live performance, from making history by completely mesmerizing massive crowds at international stadium tours to delivering a flawless, powerhouse vocal set during a specialized live performance that shook elite global audiences, completely dismantles any doubt surrounding his elite vocal pedigree. It is an unyielding, stadium-shattering level of vocal mastery that forces the absolute highest tier of Western music legends to watch in complete awe, fully recognizing that his majestic voice isn't just an international phenomenon, but a timeless, generation-defining instrument that secures his undeniable place as the ultimate #1 vocal force of the era.